Take back, go forward.
For the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that you already know how to drive. Now what I mean by that is, if concepts such as weight transfer and trail braking are not alien to you, you understand, especially in rallying, that things like this are more important than circuit driving, and you need to master how a car pivots and moves under dive and pitch, and how you use this manipulation of the weight to enhance grip or rotate the car. Assuming that you know these things and that you're comfortable with your wheel and settings, we can get further into this video. If you're not familiar with those things, or you're not comfortable with your wheel or your settings, you're going to be fighting the car and you're not going to be able to get anywhere near attempting even the Sunday Driver Challenge or just winning a rallycross event with the AI set to 100. You need to be in control of the car, and you need to feel as though the car is doing what you want it to do and you're not fighting it. If you're not comfortable here, then attempting a challenge like this is just going to be impossible for you. So right out of the way, and assuming that you're still with me, here is how you can start to win rallycross events with the AI set to 100. It previously may have felt impossible, but I'm hoping that by the end of this video, we'll be able to make the impossible start to feel a bit more possible. And one of the most important ways that we can do that is you need to understand the rallycross format. So a lot of people will win all their qualifiers, they'll qualify for the semi-finals, they'll win the semi-final, they'll win the final, and they'll think, right, brilliant, I've done it. And then the event screen, they're not even on the podium, they're like 4th or 5th, and they're like, what, but I won everything, how am I 4th or 5th? That's because you don't understand the rallycross format. And the key thing that you need to know is that winning the qualifiers doesn't matter. You're setting a time, and it's the time that you set that dictates how many points you get for that qualifier, not the finishing position. And so once you understand that, you know, especially if you're trying to win these events at 100 difficulty, you need to be fast immediately from heat 1. You can't accept a mistake and go, oh well, I've still won, but if you lost 2 seconds in that heat, that's huge. So you need to make sure that every heat from the first one is as close to perfect as you can get it. The next big tip here is, if you are going for the Sunday Driver achievement, don't practice for this in the cockpit view. Only use that view once you're already capable of winning the event outright, and I mean on points, not just winning the final in first place. And also try and do this on dry tracks or tracks without walls. As you can see from that intro clip, if you're in the rain, in the cockpit view, there are certain times where you've got the car sideways, you need to be looking out of that side window to see where your next corner is, and you can't see shit because it's got rain all down the window. This is doable once you've spent a lot of time practicing the track in the normal view that you use, and you've got the sort of muscle memory and you have the flow of the track. But if you're trying to learn the track, you need to be able to see where you're going, and sometimes you can't actually do that in the cockpit view. That's why it's such a hard challenge. So another key tip I would say is only switch to that cockpit view once you've already learnt the track and you've got the sort of muscle memory and the feel for where the flow of the corners are. And finally, learn the track's joker strategy. A track like Yas is a really good example of this. Now typically when I'm doing rallycross, I only joker on the last lap. The obvious thing to say is don't joker on the first lap and then come out behind other cars who are kicking up dust and getting in your way, because obviously that's going to slow you down. I like to joker on the last lap because I can get in a rhythm, and when I'm in a rhythm I'm faster. I'm also usually out in front and I'm not being obstructed by either the dirt or the mud that's being kicked up by the cars in front, or just by them being in the way. So usually I like to joker on the last lap. However, with the strategy of the joker and a track like Yas, you can gain race time by being more discerning about when you take the joker. So for example at Yas, it's actually quicker, I find, to joker on the second to last lap, because the exit to the joker on Yas opens up turn 1 for you, and so if you're jokering on the last lap, you don't gain any benefit from that happening. Whereas if you joker on the second to last lap, the first turn of your last lap is suddenly opened up. And so I was finding that a really fast race time, if I was just jokering on the last lap at Yas, would be a high 250, a low 251. And that wasn't good enough to qualify. I'd be going as absolutely fast as I could in all the qualifiers, and I'd barely get into the semi-finals, maybe just scraping into top 10, usually around 12. And I find a lot of people find this when they're trying to do Rallycross with AI 100 or the Sunday Driver Challenge. And once you understand that there's basically free lap time by just taking the joker on a more optimal lap, again, suddenly what was seeming impossible might now start to seem a bit more possible.